by putting your focus on the wrong place, you can really create hell for yourself. Adversity is going to be there regardless, but where you put your focus is everything. So if you can focus on who you're becoming as a result of what you're going through, they're the person that actually has the ability to lead you out of it. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another episode of Morning Coffee with your host, Rick Alexander. You guys can follow me at @RickAlexander_ and at the Morning Coffee Podcast on Instagram. And if you're getting a lot out of this message, the best compliment that you could give me is to head to iTunes, look at the Morning Coffee Podcast, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review, because that is what helps us climb the rankings and just get the message out to more people. Also, for the last year, I've been running a program called the Clarity Academy, where really it's all the information that I use to change my own life. And the reason I started the show and got in this business in the first place was because as I would look around at the world I was in, I was finding that a lot of the content that I needed was not helping, not really, not in the arena. And so everything that I do from the Clarity Academy to the Morning Coffee content, it's all meant to help you just become who it is that you want to become. I think it's easy to get wrapped up in the wrong success metrics in this life, but at the end of the day, there's like an idealized version of who you want to be in the world, and I would say who you're meant to be in the world. And you have an option to engage with the world in a way that would help you create and find that person simultaneously. But you also have the option of taking the low road, right? You also have the option of taking the road of the critic and sort of sitting on the side of the arena and just talking about what it might be like to be in there. And that's really comfortable, but it won't serve you over the long term. It won't help you actually get where it is that you're going. Be this as it may, I do understand the motivation to play the critic role in this life, because to step into the arena is to shoulder a large amount of adversity. And honestly, you won't find anybody that's done anything worth a damn in this life who hasn't shouldered a large amount of adversity and the accompanying failure that often comes alongside of the adversity, because you're never who you need to be at first, and you never know the things that you need to know at first. And so at first, adversity is teaching you in a really painful way, typically, unless you have a mentor or a coach or someone that can help walk you through it. Usually, the way that adversity teaches you is by hitting you right between the eyes. But if you're in this moment of adversity, I wanted to give you something that could help get you out of it. Now, adversity could be a lot of things, right? It could be just declining sales in a new business. It could be a plateau when it comes to lifting. Like, there's so many different ways that you find yourself no longer moving in a linear fashion, right? No longer climbing at a linear rate. And when you find yourself in these moments where adversity and things are starting to stand in your way and create a wall between who you are and what you want, where you put your focus becomes everything. So if you put your focus on yourself, for example, you might start to develop imposter syndrome, because you might, as you focus on yourself, might realize how ill-equipped you actually are to do the things that you want to do. If you put your focus on the future, you might create performance anxiety, because you're so passionate and you have nowhere to put that passion. So as you put it in the future, you start realizing that you're not yet there, and that creates a level of anxiety because you want to get there. But anxiety, the root of anxiety is the unknown, and so you don't actually know. And so by putting your focus on the wrong place, you can really create hell for yourself. Adversity is going to be there regardless, but where you put your focus is everything. So if you can focus on who you're becoming as a result of what you're going through, they're the person that actually has the ability to lead you out of it. And so as you reflect, think through what the hardships are actually teaching you, because they're going to make you into somebody else. Remember, you're simultaneously finding and creating yourself as you go through what you go through in this life. And so as you go through something, it's teaching you, right? Every time you hit a failure, it's like life is giving you an error message, and it's telling you something could be different. The way you're thinking could be different. The way you're acting could be different. Something needs to change if you don't want to get this error message anymore. And so the thing to ask yourself is, what is that thing that needs to change? Remember, where you put your focus when you're in hardship is everything. So if you can put your focus on who you're becoming as a result of what you're going through, that's the person that will lead you out of it, because by definition, that's the person that's no longer in it. And so you learn different ways to be, and you learn different ways to think, and you learn different ways to act. And if you focus on what you're learning instead of anything else, then you can maybe become that person quicker. A lot of times what happens is we have to relive the same patterns. We'll go out with the same kind of person, or we'll work the same dead-end job, and it'll have to happen over and over until we get the lesson, right? Life's been giving us the error message all along, but we just keep going back for more, right? And we just keep getting the same message. And it's disguised in different scenarios, so we don't necessarily put together the fact that it's all the same message. But the reality is it's trying to teach you something, a new way to be, for example. And so if you can shift your focus right now before going through more and more and more of the same error messages in life, you say, well, what are those error messages trying to teach me? Because that's the person that's no longer going to get those. So it's a person that can get you out of it. And so focus on the lessons, right? Consolidate your gains. Figure out who you are becoming. Stop trying to ram the same solution that's not working over and over into the same problem that's manifesting in different scenarios throughout your life. To the best of your ability, you want to embody the knowledge that you're gaining through all of these error messages. And again, that's the person that'll get you out. So I do hope you find that person sooner than later when you're in hardship. Right now, you might be in something, and the thing to do is to stop doing. The thing to do is to do a personal inventory of sorts and figure out, what am I not learning right now? What do I need to do differently? What is life telling me that I could do differently in order to get a different result? Right? It's pretty straightforward, but we tend to put our focus in all kinds of fucked up places when we go through hard things, and where we put our focus can really make our life much worse or much better as a result of what we're going through. Remember, if you're trying to do something great, you're going through it either way, but you could put your focus in a different place, and you might reach a much higher point by the end of it all if you could work a little bit more efficiently and stop reliving the same patterns and getting the same error messages. I know it's easier said than done. It took me about 3 decades before I started really leaning into this knowledge and really embodying what I'm learning and actually allowing the world to change me instead of holding on tightly to all the things I thought and wanted to be true, right? So as soon as I let go of that control and I realized, well, what's ultimately true? Let me just get there. I started realizing that I could put my focus on that person, and I was always the person that could get me home. And that's what you need to know about yourself. There's a lot of people that will promise to do that for you, but you're the only one that actually will. Right, so put your focus in the right place and you'll be able to get through these things a lot quicker. That's been my experience anyway. I love you guys. We'll talk tomorrow on Morning Coffee.
Dawn's cracking and my feet are smacking on the pavement as I step into the light. Shade in my eyes and I got my 40 in my hand. I'm trying to balance out the feelings of last night. People think I'm crazy and I'm not one to disagree, but if crazy's how I'm living, I'm gonna live my life vicariously, because I found a million bottles. I plan to drink them until they're gone. If you wanna join me, you can find me when I'm done with this song, 'cause I'm back. I'm back. Getting working, I'm eating up some overtime. Yeah. I've got money. I got money on my mind. It brings me back on the grind. Got a quarter in my pocket, I ain't talking about no change. Some people find that kind of deviant, but I just don't think it's all that strange, because 4 o'clock is here. 20 minutes till our daily holiday. Me and Keenan are gonna celebrate, and I think we all agree there's only one way, and now I'm back. I'm back on the grind. Some overtime. Yeah. I've got money. I got money on my mind. on the grind. Well, the money, the cash, whatever you want to call it, it's a necessary evil of the world that we are all in. Yeah, the Benjamin, the loot, whatever you want to call it, it's a necessary evil of the world that we are all in. 'Cause otherwise I would play guitar all day. Unfortunately, I have got bills to pay. Otherwise I would get high all day. But unfortunately, I have got bills to pay. So I get that working every day. It brings me back, right back to the grind. Getting working, I'm hitting up some overtime. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got money, I got money on my mind. It brings me back on the grind.